Sunday quarterback time. No way around it. Huskers blown out by Oklahoma 49-14. If they stopped the game at about 11-10, everybody would be happy, but unfortunately they had to play the rest of the game. How do you put the start and then the rest of the game together there, Sean?
Yeah, and Oklahoma called the dogs off at about 11-10 in the third quarter, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, this was tough. The margin for error for Nebraska was not much. I mean, I thought they got off to a great start, but Oklahoma played them very vanilla, very base, kind of let Mark Whipple have his first drive. And then then Venables was like, we're just going to start blitzing. We know your offensive line can't handle this. And Casey Thompson had no chance. I mean, there were a couple times he may have held it a tick too long, but they go 3 sacks in 5 plays in a crucial first quarter period. That really set the tone, rattled Nebraska's offense. And then defensively, all the things that we have seen all year kind of came back again. A 61-yard run by Dylan Gabriel. At halftime, when you add up what Oklahoma put up versus Georgia Southern, in those 6 quarters, Nebraska had given up 997 yards of total offense. They're over 1,200 yards now in 2 games.
I want to get back to that offensive line. They were porous again, and they've really struggled. Now, Teddy Prohaska, we're hearing that he's out for the year, that he's going to redshirt. So tell me how this unit gets better.
Yeah, the offensive line, I mean, on paper, Teddy was one of their best guys. And, you go back another step, Nuri Nueli, maybe one of their other best guys.
Sure.
So their entire projected left side of the line out for the year now, as we know. And that puts Turner Corcoran back at left tackle, Kevin Williams at left guard. But you heard Mickey Joseph say we might have to try some other guys and see what we got. And, does that elevate a Hunter Anthony with an opportunity? I mean, Bryce Benhart has just not gotten it done at right tackle. Corcoran had his issues. They all had their issues up front, and I don't know how you can fix things at this point of the year, and that's where the challenge here for Mickey Joseph is.
Yeah, the Huskers ran it for 163. That was a little misleading since Gabe Ervin Jr. was the leading rusher with 60 yards on 7 carries, all of that coming in garbage time. Anthony Grant with 36 yards, his lowest output of the season. Defensively, you got to be very, very concerned. You mentioned the stats, but how do they get better in simple tasks, as in tackling and filling the gaps?
Yeah, they're not getting home with 4 very often, if at all, and that's where it starts. So when they're in pass rush situations, they're leaving big run lanes, big gaps, and you saw Dylan Gabriel, a 61-yard run was set up by O'Shawn Mathis running too far upfield, and then a massive gap where the secondary guys got blocked out of the play. I believe Tommy Hill, Steve Sipple said he was blocked out of the stadium. So they're just getting beat on all levels of the defense, fundamentally, technique-wise, tackling, you name it. And you heard Mickey Joseph. They're not going to make any staff changes. I know everyone wants to roast somebody and see things change, but I don't know what that would do at this point. How would changing a defensive coach right now really affect anything?
Well, Miles Farmers brought something up I thought was it raised the antennas when he talked about not live tackling in practice up until this last week. That catch your eye?
Yeah, that's the norm for a lot of people,
Sure.
But it was interesting to hear that. I mean, he basically threw Coach Frost probably under the bus a little bit there, saying we haven't tackled in practice for 4 years. All we've done is tag off. So I think Mickey Joseph wants to ramp up practices more. At this point, what do you have to lose?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this season you're 1-3. What are you trying to protect at this point? Put your guys through harder practices during the week. Get them ready for Saturday.
Not to make excuses, but this has been a tough week for this team. How much do you think the emotion of the week played into the performance on Saturday?
I think it was a very fragile bunch. I thought there was a lot of excitement for Mickey Joseph, for the fan base, and for the players, but the game then quickly turned into reality. Oklahoma looked like a well-oiled machine, a well-coached machine, and once they got their things going, the wind just came out of the sail.
How do you keep this team together?
Win. I mean, I think the only thing you can do is if you get a win over Indiana, and Indiana struggled today in their game against Western Kentucky. I think they pulled it out late. But if you can get a win in a game like that, that's where you start. But I don't know what you can accomplish on the bye week. And Nebraska's limited on their bye week practice schedules because they played week 0 and they started fall camp earlier. So will they practice 2, maybe 3 days tops this week? So what can Mickey Joseph really get done over this bye week?
He says that he's going to work on fundamentals and drill work over teamwork. We'll see if that comes to fruition, because there's a bye week straight ahead, and then Indiana comes to town in 2 weeks.